Why do foreigners choose to live in Vietnam? This is what I'm going to discuss in this video, so make sure you stick around. Hey, what's up guys? This is Marcel with a new video. I am the Minimalist Nomad, and in today's video I will discuss the topic of why foreigners choose to live in Vietnam. I have made a video about this a while ago, a few months ago, why I personally choose Vietnam for my long-term travel. I'm still in Vietnam as we speak. I'm currently in Phu Quoc, on this beautiful island, and I will make another video. I will post it within the next few days before I leave. So in this video I've done a few months ago, I was referring to my long-term travel, but also I lived and worked in Vietnam many years back for a year. So I also was really living inside this country. I was much more involved with Vietnamese people due to the fact that I was working with them together. But why do foreigners choose Vietnam? Number one, the first thing is definitely the cost factor, which I also have mentioned. Overall, Vietnam has a great infrastructure, as I find, compared to other Southeast Asian countries. I'm not saying that other Southeast Asian countries are completely underdeveloped, but when you compare Thailand or the Philippines, for example, with Vietnam, then I find that Vietnam has overall a better infrastructure. Okay, we can argue about this. For example, I don't know the highway system in Vietnam. Is there a highway system? I think there is something like that in place. You have probably a better highway system in Thailand, so you guys have to let me know in the comment section. But in general, the impression I get, there is a better infrastructure, which not only includes the roads. The roads are clean wherever I go, except probably Saigon, but this is due to the fact that Saigon is a very crowded place, and also Hanoi. But overall, roads are okay. It's clean. The Wi-Fi, for example, the internet, which is very important. Yeah, you can get anything you want. There are shopping malls, there are food stores, restaurants, everything, supermarkets. Yeah, there is no lack of all the daily necessities you need. So this is all provided for. When you are a Westerner earning US dollars, then of course it makes just sense to move to a, let's say, Southeast Asian country. But I would suggest to you to move to Vietnam if you can get a job here. And this is probably also maybe the other way around, why people pick Vietnam, because of the great cost of living. But I think most of them just receive a job offer and then they come here and then they notice, oh, how really cheap compared to, let's say, Europe or America it is. And I want to emphasize on this, yeah. So Vietnam is actually only affordable or cheap if you earn hard currency, if you earn, let's say, US dollars, like it was in my case. If you earn US dollars, for sure you will receive a high salary. That means you will receive the same salary like in your home country, or even a little bit more. Why? More because you are an expert and you have been hired for this position, so people and companies are willing to pay just more money. And you can have a very good life. You know, I've done other videos where I was talking about my daily expenses, my monthly cost of living. You want to go back and check out these videos where I talk about the extreme differences in costs. Just the other day I went to the hair cutter here, and it's a professional haircut. Look at my hair, it's professionally cut. And I paid $3.21. Yeah? So this is an excellent price. This is actually a local price here in Vietnam. And I would bet that local Vietnamese people, they would even pay less than that. In Germany, for example, for that kind of haircut, I pay easily 15 euros or $15. And this is a simple haircut, yeah, without washing or anything. It's just going inside the barber shop, sitting down, the guy cuts your hair, and after 10 or 15 minutes you walk off, right? Yeah, so when you earn US dollars in hard currency, then you definitely have an advantage. Be it the rent, be it internet, Wi-Fi, be it transportation, be it food, for example. I think if you want to buy clothes and stuff or technical gadgets, there are more or less the same price like in any other Western countries. For example, smartphones, there is no price difference because these prices are made by the corporations and you pay basically the same price anywhere in any country you go. If you want to buy an iPhone or a Samsung or I don't know, an Oppo smartphone, you pay more or less the same price. The same with mobile data. Once a month I top up my data, and the last time I bought was 20 gigabyte for about $3. Yeah, this is ridiculously affordable. In Germany, I remember I pay for like 3 gigabyte $10 already. Not to mention 20 gigabyte. I never purchased 20 gigabyte in Germany because there's no point. It's way too expensive. Here it's like $3 and you can last for easily for 1 month, and they have on top of that additional promotion package. So for example, you get like every day 1 or 2 gigabyte for free, and so it is basically impossible to use all this data up in a month. What else is to say? Why should foreigners pick Vietnam, or why do they choosing Vietnam? Also the people, I would say, the people are very no problem people. Of course they're Asians, so it's all about not losing face, so they will be friendly when they approach you, regardless what they think of you. Even if they think badly about you, then they will never show it for sure. And if they want to voice something out, then they will talk in their language. Yeah, this is just Asian mentality. But I never had any issues with Vietnamese people. I never got into any fights or something like that, or the other way around. You know, I'm not a fighter, or I don't want to cause any trouble. And I've traveled too many countries in my life that I would not know how to behave and to get along, because this is what you have to have. You have to have a great flexibility and also the ability to adopt and to adapt to other places in order to advance and get along. Vietnamese people are very, very easygoing actually, besides of the language barrier, because English is not very common in Vietnam. This is one disadvantage, but other than that, people are very friendly, they are welcoming. Yeah, they are a little bit shy and reserved. Also, once you get to know them more, then they are open up. Yeah, like the place where I have lunch here in Phu Quoc, about 10 minutes from my hotel. Phu Quoc is a very isolated place in the area, at least where I'm staying. And there's this street food shop there where which I discovered actually on my first day. And the food is very, very affordable. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. And these elder ladies who are working, they are so lovely, they are so friendly, and they make sure that I am always fed very well, and they even refill the food sometimes, and they don't charge me extra, they don't overcharge me, and I come there now every day, and I don't know what they're thinking, and they might think also, who is this guy, why is he staying here so long, does he has a job or anything, you know? So anyway, yesterday I went to the market and I thought, you know, hey, let's buy them some chocolate. So I bought them some chocolate. And then when I came there yesterday, I just handed the chocolate out to them. They were so crazy. They were so happy, like they're jumping around almost like little children, you know. So this kind of relationship. So they open up after a while once you get to know them. So there will be no problem with Vietnamese people in general. Though in the beginning they might be very reserved to you, and especially the opposite sex, I would say. You know, I'm a man. And there are a lot of beautiful Vietnamese women. That was actually my next point I wanted to make. If you like Asian women, you definitely should come to Vietnam. Vietnamese women are a beautiful women. They even say, I think they have the slimmest body of all Asian women. I don't know if this is true, but it might be true. They have really nice figures. They take care of their body. But in the beginning, you know, it seems that these women, these younger women, are very reserved and even cold or disinterested. I think this is just how it's just the wrong perception. But this is how their mentality is in general, also with these people, Asian people. This is just, they are more reserved and shy because you are a stranger, right? We don't need to talk about the weather. Why should foreigners come to Vietnam, or why they're picking to stay here? It's because of the weather. It's hot, it's warm, it's humid, yes, but you have sunshine all year round. Depending where you stay in Vietnam, you have at places more rain or a heavier rainy season than in other places, but in general you don't need a winter jacket, gloves and a hat. You don't need that here. You need an umbrella and you need a towel. I need a towel because I'm sweating a lot, you know, it's humid, it's warm, and I'm always walking around with a towel to just, you know, like to wipe myself dry. The location, Vietnam, also the location is actually logistically seen very convenient. You can get to any places very easily. You can fly to Bangkok from several cities in Vietnam within 90 minutes. You can fly to Singapore, to Bangkok, Philippines, Malaysia. Everything is in a very close distance. So it's centrally located, which is good. The ticket prices are reasonable. Actually, they are the same like before the health crisis now. You can fly very, very cheaply from Vietnam to Kuala Lumpur, for example, for like $50, you know, not a big deal. Vietnam is also a very safe country. This is one thing I want to point out here. I always felt very, very safe. I have only experienced once, I remember about 3 years ago when I was in Nha Trang, this coastal city, you know, where two Vietnamese guys stopped their motorbike, and then they were going to the beach, and they were approaching two Western tourists, the two ladies, and then they were taking their handbags away. This is what I noticed from very far away. So they approached them and they took the bag, and then they ran away, hopped onto their motorbike, and then the ladies actually then noticed it. They were screaming and running behind them, but it was too late. Yeah, but that was really the only incident ever I have experienced through my entire time in Vietnam. And I stayed in different cities and places. It is a safe place, 100%. The people are not aggressive. Of course, I'm not saying that there is no criminality going on. You always have crime going on in any country, and Vietnam is still kind of in a developing country. So you have a lot of poverty here. So you want to use your common sense, right? You don't want to go out at night at 2 a.m. in the morning and walk around, let's say even drunk, through some dark alleys with your Rolex watch and your gold chain or silver bracelets. Yeah, you would be very stupid to do that. Okay. Yeah, so just use your common sense. Do the same things what you would do at home. Yeah, and just keep in mind this is a developing country. There's a lot of poverty, and people they don't earn that much per month that you would earn in a Western country. People are aware of this, and yes, it is the perception, the paradigm of not only Asian people, but also South American people or African people, that if you are a Caucasian man or woman, you are looked upon as the rich guy, the rich girl. You have the money, you are wealthy. Some of them even, or a lot of them even, might consider you a walking ATM machine. This is how it is. You cannot change this, you will not change that. Just keep it in mind, and you won't have any problems. What else to say? Yeah, I did a video about hospitals. visiting hospitals in Vietnam. Healthcare is great, as I find. I looked at different hospitals, government hospitals and private hospitals. I, of course, recommend the private hospitals, definitely, because of the service, because of the cleanliness, because of the efficiency, and prices I find are very reasonable. I mentioned this in my other videos. So if you have any issues, I mean, if you are a healthy guy like I am, you won't visit a hospital very often. I just visited that hospital the other day to do a body checkup, my yearly health checkup, you know, because I'm taking care of my health. But other than that, if you take care of your health on a daily basis, you eat right, you work out, you exercise, you meditate, yeah, if possible, and you do some walking around in nature and with sunshine and stuff like that, you know, you lay yourself a very strong foundation, so you won't get sick very often. You reduce also the risk of getting sick, and then that also helps. That's your healthcare you should be doing, right? And not being subscribed to some healthcare company, you know, but that's a different story. So, but in case you need to go to see the doctor, you don't need to be afraid. Yeah, there are skilled doctors here, state-of-the-art facilities and equipment. And the last thing I want to mention is, yes, for Vietnamese people, certainly it is a different situation in the country. Yeah, Vietnam is developing. That means they have a lot of rich people. You have a few rich people. Let's put it like this. You have, I think, an emerging middle class, or maybe it has emerged already. But you see more and more wealthy people, and you have on the other side a lot of poverty, especially in the countryside. So living in Vietnam as a poor person is definitely a big struggle. I understand that. But don't forget, also being poor and living in Germany or living in America or living in Australia, if you are really poor, if you are even homeless, it's also a big struggle. So there is no difference, yeah, between Vietnam and these Western countries. As a Western guy in Vietnam, like I said, you will earn a dollar salary, the same level like in your home country. So you will have an excellent life here. If you can manage your money well, you can save a lot of money and then invest it and stuff like that, right? And this is also what I said earlier with Asian people and South American people and African people considering us Caucasians as the wealthy and rich people. Yes, there is some truth to it because of the history and stuff, and people don't just get these perceptions out of nothing. There is some history behind it and these kind of things, but I will not go into this today. I just want to say that this also leads to the wrong perception that Vietnamese people might think, or they're not only might, they are thinking, this is kind of a cliche also, that everything is better in Western countries. Everything is better in Germany. And we want to go there, we want to move there, we want to study there, and then eventually we want to live there. Yeah. So then I asked the question, why do so many foreigners move to Southeast Asia or Vietnam and decide to live here permanently, full-time working, or even retiring here, if everything is so great in these Western countries, if these Western countries are so rich, you know, the countries where milk and honeys are flowing? No, it's unfortunately not like that. Yeah, and this is also why I'm doing this video. So, but this is the perception of also, I think, a lot of Vietnamese people. It's a wrong perception. Yes, you can earn more money in Germany, for example. You get a much higher salary, but the cost of living is also much, much higher. I will only touch this briefly here, okay? So just to bring things into the proper perspective, many foreigners who come to Southeast Asia or Vietnam, they have their valid and good reasons. And the grass is not always greener on the other side, trust me. That's why I choose to come here for my long-term travel. Okay, that's it for today. Yeah, give me your thumbs up if you like this video, and then also share your comments. I want to know what you have to say. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? In any case, share your feedback, please, because I receive a lot of useful comments and I want to learn, I want to get your perspective. What do you think about Vietnam, about the people, about the cost of living? Have you been living in Vietnam already for a very long time? Have you been working here? If yes, where are you working? In what capacity? Share a little bit about more about yourself, so maybe we can get in touch. And I'm gonna see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.